or I'm just going to tell you the kind of questions that I would be making to myself as a faculty member. Probably the first question that I would have is, how come I didn't realize about this before? Just looking at the chart, it seems like I have been having this problem for a while. So how come is that I was not aware of this? Any thoughts?
Most common thing is you just blame the students that there's something wrong with them and that's why they're leaving.
All right, that's very valid.
I mean, that's the most common thing when you talk to instruction. Yeah, you know, kids today, they just won't work. They won't do this stuff. You know, these millennials, you know, these, I mean, right? Isn't that what we hear?
And maybe you say that in your class about millennials and they immediately get turned off, right? Who knows?
Yep.
Maybe it looks too like you at the earlier semesters you had fewer, and then when you start to get more of them, you seem to be having more difficulty.
Right. So this is, and I made all this up, but let's pretend again I was a faculty member, and I'm like, I'm very bummed, you know, I'm very sad because of this. I'm okay, how come I didn't know this before? But then suddenly I realized about something. I see that before I didn't have that many students in that age group. So I have been always had issues with this particular age group, but in the past I was not aware of this, or my numbers were not being dragged down because I didn't have that many young students. But lately, I have more students like that. So now that I have more students, and since I am not really connecting with them, my numbers are going down for the total group. Okay, so that's just my explanation that I made up. And my next question, but you know, I still don't, you know, I'm still wondering, I'm still like, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, now I have more students, but I'm wondering, but how is it I have more students now? How is it I have more younger students now? What's going on? What could have changed that I am having more younger students nowadays compared to previous times?
You're getting old.
Okay.
Maybe the unemployment is up, you know, or maybe people, you know, young students can't find work, so more of them are enrolling right now.
So what happened in my exercise is that suddenly I remembered 1 year ago, I connected with my program chair, with my dean, and we pay a visit to Maureen Rubalcaba, and we told her that we needed more advertising in high school. And she agreed to do that. She said, okay, I'm going to go to the high school. I'm going to start, you know, trying to connect more students from high schools to your particular class. So it seems like that really worked because now I have more young students. Now, for the next question, remember, I previously hit a wall because I didn't understand what was going on with Latino students. I was not able to find a way, you know, an explanation for that. So my next question is, because I just don't want to let that go. I'm wondering, okay, could this somehow be connected to my other findings? Could this getting more young students somehow be connected to the fact that I also, you know, Latino students are also underperforming?
Hi, everyone. It's Ingrid. Pedagogically, there's been discussion that Latino students really enjoy group work and project work. And if your class is heavy on multiple choice assessments or like individual assessments, it may not be a good, you know, it might not be as interesting to them. So there's that aspect that could be happening. There might be a pedagogical aspect.
All right, thank you for sharing that. I also see that Mary in the chat is saying, maybe are you suggesting that the new students are also Latino? For the sake of this example, that's what I did. So here is my explanation. It is a very, very good point, Ingrid. My explanation to this particular example is, okay, Maureen went to the high schools, but then I also remember Maureen went to high schools in neighborhoods that were neighborhoods with a lot of Latino presence. So all the new young students happen to also be Latino students. But given that looking at my data, I saw that I was not struggling with Latino students, but I have always struggled with younger students. It seems to me that the story here is about young students. It's not about Latinos. The new young students just happen to be Latinos. But the main thing happening here is them being young, me not being able to connect with young students. And this is totally arguable. There's a lot of things going on for sure, but let's say that for this example, that is my conclusion. So now that I found that, I'm like, okay, now I feel good because I get what's going on. But that doesn't mean that I have the answer to the main question. What is the main question? Well, okay, yeah. Now you know how you got to this place. But the question is, why is that younger students are underperforming?